Welcome back to In the Shop. Today, folks, we're still working on the mirror. We're going to plastic solder the little mechanical hold down tabs off of the mirror motor to be able to secure it back in the mirror frame. In the last episode, we made the mirror frame or repaired the mirror frame where the shaft had pulled out, and we've got all that ready. Today we're going to repair these tabs. So what we've got the mirror here. I haven't cleaned it, don't want it clean, I don't want to scratch it all up, so leaving it dirty actually helps that. We'll set her on the rag here. So as you can see, this tab is broke off. I have this one of the small pieces that goes right here on that end. So what we'll do is attach that by melting it together with a soldering iron. Basically, that's all this plastic welding is. You can take a decent soldering iron and make you a little flat tip out of it, like I did here, or you can buy the piece that you can buy a tip for it that is for this. I just prefer to make my own so I get what I want. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to use this little clamp to hold the piece together. Be very careful doing this because you can burn yourself very easily. What I always try to do is pull it from both sides, blend it together, and then go through and flatten it. Give it a second, let it cool, and I can pull the clamp off. As you can see, they're joined together. And we're going to turn it. Reattach the clamp so I can maneuver the twist into it. And the best part about this is it's not in view, so if it's a little ugly, it doesn't matter. Just like that, the piece is secure. Now we just have to go around it and finish putting it together. I don't know if you can see that in the camera or not. There we go. So all we're doing is diving this hot tip down into that crack. And getting some depth in it, and then smoothing over the bunched up plastic that you just made, and then you have a decent weld. It's very similar to welding metal. However, instead of pushing wire out, you're actually pushing down into the plastic with the tip and making the plastic form. And that's how you get your root in there. And just kind of go back and forth and clean it up. Plastic's pretty forgiving. You'll figure out the more you do this kind of stuff just how easy it is. It just takes time. You do have to be careful about what kind of plastic it is. The off-gassing of some plastic is pretty nasty and can be harmful. But this is just an ABS type of plastic. A little stinky, but not too bad for you. And my shop is pretty well ventilated, so I don't usually have to worry about too much of that. So what I did here is I just cut a piece that's very similar to the angle. We're going to get that welded in, and then we'll do the side piece to strengthen it. Do like I just did there and pull it too early, though, it'll fall apart on you. What we're doing is repairing the bad stuff, and it doesn't have to be clean all the way around. It just has to be clean where you're working on it. So now I've rebuilt the little strut structure here, which will give that some strength. I'm gonna let that piece cool a little bit, and then I'll finish it off and do some fills and fill in the center. And I just take pieces of plastic from trash cans or bottles or whatever that work for me. a zip tie, you know, all kinds of stuff to use for filler material, because with the filler material you're just putting a little bit in it. So then once you're done and everything's cooled off, then you just come back with your clippers and clean up the edges a little bit. And while this is not perfect by any means, it's not going to be visible because it's behind a cover. So we just want it to be strong. So I'm just going to touch up a few things, shape and whatnot. Pretty it up a little. So again, I use flush cutters to tidy up. You got to be careful though. So I pulled too hard and split it again. What I did here is add some additional filler material in here. To thicken up the corners. Strengthen that. Okay, so now the pieces are back the way they should be. It'll hold a screw and they can go back on. It's not the prettiest, but it's a repair nonetheless. All right, so now it's time to reassemble this thing, and it goes a certain way. I just finished washing everything, getting it cleaned up, because we're gonna get the car running and work on it, get the interior done long before we ever do the paint. Paint and body is not too bad. It's got some clear coat peeling, but we're not gonna fix that right away. So we're gonna go ahead and get this back together where we'll be able to use it. Get that started. So that plugs into the power mirror motor there. And this goes under that tab. Again, we got to make sure the wire is back and clear. I don't know if you can see down in there, but there's a screw that goes into a hole. And these don't have to be super tight either. So now that we've repaired that tab on the other one, we should be able to get the screw in there and secure it. Just like so. And we'll push and get this back one tightened up. Have to be very careful with it. Okay. Now we have the mirror back together, fully assembled. It's fairly tight. Clean this a little bit. I'll clean it later with some Windex, but now it's ready to go back on the car. So to get the mirror off, you have to take the interior door panel off, which there's, you know, a screw over here in the front and a couple of screws on the back here, and then you got to take the door handles loose and the ashtray off and pull those screws, and then the bottom of the door panel will slide out and you raise it up and off of this ledge here and out, and disconnect the wires for the plugs, which is these here. And then you have to make sure the window's up, of course, but then you can get to these two 10mm bolts that hold the mirror in. So we're going to go ahead and put the mirror back on the outside of the door. So when you're putting this back on, you slide this through the hole and down on there. Make sure your rubber gasket is in there. And then put your washers on and your fastening nuts. And you want to pay close attention to where you put the wiring, so that when the window's going up and down, the wiring can't get into the motor and the gears and get broken. And those don't have to be super tight. Now the mirror is back secured on the car. It's not going to pop off.